Okay, so today we're going to take a look at a couple of CAPE questions, getting ready for DC CAPE. These questions we're looking at today are from Unit 1, Section 1, which is a non-calculator section. You would not be able to use a calculator, and you would have 60 minutes to work on both the calculator and non-calculator section. So today we're going to take it a little bit slower than that so we can zero in on some questions. The first question we have here is about finding expressions that are equivalent, right? So equivalent means same, right? So we're trying to see which of these expressions down here are the same as this expression up here. And so you need to think about what we learned in Module 5. Module 5 is when we dealt with positive and negative numbers, right? And we learned a certain rule about minus and negative. Try to think about that rule and select which of these you think is the correct answer. There's more than one. And hopefully you were able to remember that the rule, when we have a minus and negative, they both turn into plus signs, right? So that would be 3 1/4 plus plus 5/8, right? But we don't usually use two plus signs. And let's see which of these match up with this. Does your answer change? Okay. So 3 1/4 minus 5/8, no, that's not plus plus. All right, 3 1/4 plus 5/8, yeah, that's the same. 3 1/4 plus a negative 5/8, no, it needs to be plus plus or just plus. 3 1/4 plus plus 5/8, well, that's exactly what we got. Negative 3 1/4 plus negative 5/8, well, we did not have here negative 3 1/4, so no. And we also here did not start with a negative 3 1/4, so no. And let's move on to question 2. Question 2 says, at the start of the month, the value of an investment was $48.45. What's an investment? Is it money that you put in or money that you take out? At the end of the month, the value of the investment, the money that we put in, has changed by a loss of $13.80, all right? So we started off with a positive $48.45, and then there was a loss of $13.80. How would I write a loss of $13.80? Positive $13.80 or negative $13.80? Yes, you're correct. It's negative $13.80, right? So then if we started off with $48.45 and we took away $13.80 because we lost money, your job is to find out what's left over. Well, this is a non-calculator section, so we have to line our numbers up, line our decimals up, and go ahead and subtract. Write this on your paper, lining your numbers up correctly. What is 5 minus 0? 5. 4 minus 8, well, no. So I'm going to borrow because I have another place to take from. This becomes a 7, and now this becomes, I took a 10 from here, so now this is a 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. 7 minus 3 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So my answer, what's left at the end of the month, is $34.65. Okay, let's move on to question 3. It says this graph shows the relationship between the pounds of cheese bought at a deli and the total cost in dollars for the cheese. So we have two things in this table. We have pounds of cheese and we have total costs or money, right? Pounds is down here and total cost is here. Pounds is on the x-axis and total cost is on the y-axis, okay? So if you take a look at this graph, right, how much is 1 pound cost? 1 pound cost $4, right? We went over to 1 on pounds and we went up to $4, right? How much do 2 pounds cost? 2 pounds cost, right? Okay, $8. why don't you go through and see which of these is true based on what we just practiced here. This is Module 3. So hopefully you look through each statement, understanding we're selecting all that apply, most likely more than one right answer when we see this. A says the point 00 shows the cost is $0 for 0 pounds of cheese. Well, here's 00, yes, $0 for 0 pounds of cheese. That's correct. The point 025, 1 shows the cost is $0.25 for 1 pound of cheese. Okay, let's go to 0.25, 1. Well, 0.25, 1, 0.25 going over is the weight and up is the money. So no, it is $1 for 0.25 pounds of cheese. So no, this is wrong. That's reversed. Okay, it's always X then Y. In this case, pounds then money. Okay, X, Y, pounds, money. Okay, so C, the point 0.5, 2 shows that 0.5 pounds costs $2. Pounds, money, 0.5 costs $2, correct. 1.4 shows the cost is 4 for 1 pound of cheese. Oh, the cost, so they switch the words around, they want to make sure you understand. They're saying the cost is 4, right? And it's 1 pound of cheese. Let's go to 1, 4. 1, 4, yes, 1 pound costs $4. That's correct. Okay? And the last one, 2, 8 shows 8 pounds of cheese costs $2. Well, let's go over the 8 pounds of cheese. Oh, it's not there, right? Here's weight. There is no 8 pounds of cheese on here. Okay? 2, 8 though is 2, 8. Okay? And that is 2 pounds costs $8. So E is incorrect. All right, we're almost done here. Number 4. Number 4 says which expression is equivalent to 1/4 times 6 minus 6x. I'm sorry, 8 minus 6x plus 12. Notice I didn't say parentheses, right? The parentheses around this means it's being multiplied by the number outside. So I read this as 1/4 times, right? It's right next to what's in the parentheses, 8 minus 6x plus 12, okay? Whenever I have a number outside the parentheses, I know that that number needs to be distributed. I'm using the write this down, distributive property. And that means that we multiply the number outside the parentheses by everything inside. So 1/4 times 8 is what? Well, what's 1/4 of 8? What's 8 broken up into 4 pieces? That is 2. Okay? Then 1/4 times 6x. What's 1/4 times 6? Oh, let's see. 1/4 times 6 over 1 is 6 over 4. Right? So minus 6 over 4x. See what happens, right? 8 over 4 would have been 2. 6 over 4 is going to be something, not a whole number. Okay? We'll talk about that in a second. And then 1/4 also has to be multiplied by the 12. What is 12 broken up into 4 pieces, or 1/4 times 12? Well, that's 12 over 4, which is just 3, right? So that's plus 3, okay? So now I notice that this answer I have here is not anywhere here. Oh, this is kind of messed up. This should say 3 over 2x plus 5. Sorry, it's hard to see with the copy. So I see nothing that I have over here is here. Okay? So I only have, like, here I have one term, here I have 2, 1, 2, here I have 1, 2, right? Here I have 1, 2, 3 terms. But I can combine things that are alike, right? Constant numbers with constant numbers, numbers that don't have variables with them can go together. So 2 plus 3 is what? 5, okay? And then 6/4 x is negative, right? So that's minus 6/4 x. Well, okay. So now I can know it's not this. I know I need 2 things. The only things that can go together is 2 and 3. So I know I need something with a variable and something with the number 5. There's only one thing here that has the number 5, and that's D, even though it was difficult to see. So 5 minus 6/4 x, as I was going to say, this fraction simplifies. How many times does 2 go into 6? 3 times. How many times does 2 go into 4? 2 times. But you really don't need to know that, especially in a situation where it's multiple choice. You do know that 2 plus 3 is 5, and the only option then is D, right? That's kind of a test-taking strategy. And we're going to try another question here. It says, in which situation could the quotient of -24, rewrite that because this copy is crazy, divided by 3 be used to answer the question? Okay? So, I have the temperature, so quotient, this is division, the answer when we divide, -24, so something's going down by 24. Okay, let's look at A. The temperature of a substance decreased by 24, so we off to a good start. That would be -24 per minute for 3 minutes. Well, if it's doing this per minute for 3 minutes and we want to know how much did it change, what was the overall change of the temperature, then I wouldn't be dividing by 3, I would be multiplying by 3. And that's not the same as division. It's the opposite. B says, a football team lost 24 yards on one play, then gained 3 yards on the next play. Okay, so lost 24 would be what? Well, that would be -24, because I lost 24, down 24. Then gained 3. This is minus and this is plus. They gained 3. That went up 3. This is simple addition. That has nothing to do with division here, so no, that's incorrect. C says, Julia withdrew a total of $24 from her bank account over 3 days. Withdrew, right? Is that -24? Yeah, we're off to a good start. From her bank account over 3 days. So over the course of 3 days, she withdrew a total of $24. So it means on one day she withdrew something, the same amount. On another day she withdrew a second amount. And on the third day she withdrew the same amount, because it says by how much did the amount of money in her account change each day. She withdrew the same amount each day, right? So same amount leading up to a total over 3 days lets me know I'm dividing. I'm sharing equally. So C is correct. Okay? And just for good measure, D is wrong. The reason D is incorrect is because a cookie jar contains 24 cookies. It starts off with 24. Does that give me -24? No, it has 24. The cookies exist. They're there. And each child receives cookies. How many children are there? So we are dividing. We're sharing with each child. But while this is division, it's not -24 divided by 3. It's just +24 divided by 3.